แล้วโยมออกเลยนั่นแหละ
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Washington. Good morning, Canada, Vancouver, and good evening, Thailand. Welcome to the Dhamma program of the Dhamma for Life from Wat Nataram, Washington, and Wat Nataram, Vancouver, Canada. Today, as promised, we will continue with the topic of the Anapanasati or the breathing meditation to the Vipassana or insight meditation by the 16 yana or Sarasa yana. As we complete up to the third stage or the third insight of the Vipassana, the process or the stages of the Vipassana is called Vipassana yana, which is there are 16 stages or 16 insight. Insight means the contemplation to understanding what is going on during what's the truth that's happening that show up during the kammatthana of the Vipassana. Today we would like to proceed to the fourth stage or the fourth insight, which is called Uttaya Payayana. So what happened in under the stage of the Uttaya Payayana is under the one-pointed concentration, or we call it the samadhi, an effort. The practitioner will actually commonly experience the mental defilement of the Vipassana, which is called the 10 impurities. You know, like when we practice the samatha kammatthana or the concentration meditation, we encounter with we encounter the what is called nivarana or the 5 hindrances. In case of the Vipassana, we also facing or coping the difficulties that try to hinder the process of the Vipassana, which is, we call it the Vipassana Nupakilesa or the 10 impurities. So let's see what they are that arise due to the process. The power of the concentration and knowledge which the practitioners might enjoy and many times attached, tightly, this defilement will try to impurify or delay the process of the Vipassana. One must mindfully realize this situation and try to detach it immediately, because if you stay with it, the attachment is getting stronger, and then it will propel the process of the Vipassana will go away, or at least it can delay the process of the Vipassana, especially in the Sorasayana process. So once you realize that there is the impurities that happen or occur or arise during the process, especially in the fourth stage, which is called the Uttaya Payayana, these purities always occur. So one must realize, and after realization of the impurities, one has to try to detach it immediately. Because if you not, then they have a lot of the temptation. It will finally impurifies the Vipassana yana. So one has to overcome as soon as possible. So let's take a look what are the impurities. There are 10 impurities together that I will try to go one by one. The first one is you probably visualize the brightness that sometimes you feel like everything is bright, transparency. You don't feel like you sitting in the room, but you can see through the wall and all of the room visualize like it's super bright. This kind of brightness or the impurity always occur all over the internally and externally. So this is what I usually experience when I start practicing the salon the sarasayana or the 16 yana. I feel like I don't like I feel like I sitting somewhere. There's no wall, either left wall or right wall, front or back. There's no curtain. I feel like I was sitting in the space that can see through on all. It's sitting into the space, the feeling of showing me the sense of sitting only alone and amongst the big bright space. So that is the first impurity that you might experience when you doing up to the fourth stage of the sarasayana. The second one is the joy. You may experience the strong sense of the pressure. Sometimes you open up your mouth and smile, little corner lip smile, because you feel really joy. You feel really having a really great pressure during the the practice. You probably thought that you are already enlightened or attained. You are in the stage of feeling of attaining the enlightenment. So that kind of feeling come to interfere, generating the sense of the pressure. So sometimes the practitioner express like a smiling face, but your eyes while you're closing your eyes and doing the vipassana. So this is the feeling or the vedana that happen during the meditation, inside meditation. And it try to impurify your process actually. So you must realize. The third one is the satisfaction, strong sense of happiness. This is another feeling or another vedana that arising during the process, during the vipassana. And you become satisfied, you really feeling a strong sense of happiness because you thought that you were enlightened, and you prefer to stay longer and longer in the vipassana because you enjoy it. You enjoy the feeling, and this enjoy of the feeling will hinder your vipassana actually, and that's why we call it your vipassana has being impure by the vedana, the sense of the happiness very strong. And then the next one, the fourth one, is the insight itself. When we have feeling of I do have a lot of knowledge or I do have a lot of understanding everything so clear. At this point, the feeling that seeing everything thoroughly, you will feel like you have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of even comprehensive understanding. You know everything about your life, you know everything about the Dhamma. So you feel that you have a lot of wisdom, you have a lot of panya. You feel like you become a really super smart man during the process. This kind of this kind of this kind of thing or this kind of dharma, this kind of kilesa is arising during the process, and this delays the process. Actually, instead of moving forward, it will delay. It will purify instead of clarify the process. You probably get stuck. You probably feel that you already enlightened. This is very dangerous. One must realize and try to uh, clear this cloud as soon as possible. Then the next one is the tranquility itself. It's over tranquility. You know, the feeling that the mind is so peaceful. It will let your mind become really over calming. So your mind is not really sensitive. Your sati, actually the mindfulness is dropped. It's really dropped down. So one must realize that your mindfulness is still strong to get on the object, especially the nama and rupa and nama, the forms and the mind, the body and the mind. Once your mind is once your mindfulness is get away from the object, then you lose control of the vipassana actually, because of over tranquility or over calming. So you have to make everything actually in balance. You have to check every time in balance that you are not over effort. Even your energy must not be over energy, not over mindfulness. The mindfulness and the energy must be in balance, or where you have to check the balance between the mindfulness and the energy or an effort, because these two components are so important regarding the vipassana and the samatha. You have to make them check them in balance all the time. The balance between an effort or viriya and the sati or mindfulness has to be in the balance in order to mobilize your vipassana or the sarasayana to move on and on. The next one is overconfidence, the sattha. The sattha. Sometimes you beliefs have a really strong belief without consideration, without understanding. You believe this is what is called enlightenment. This is called nibbana, and then you allow your mind to stay along with the age or with the body, with the over integrity, and that will delay the process of the vipassana, or we call it impurifies the process of the vipassana, and your vipassana process gets stuck. get interrupted, and that cause the corruption of the corruption of the vipassana. The next one is even the effort. This is the seventh one, the seventh component, the seventh impurity. It's called effort or the viriya. When is it too much, then your mind will get exhausted. When your mind get exhausted, it's become unsensitive. Your mindfulness become very slow, and it's not very punctuated. And this can, the over effort, the over energy, too much of the energy will delay actually instead of mobilize, instead of speed up the process of the vipassana, it will delay. And the next one, even the mindfulness itself, the feeling that the mindfulness is really quick, and you thought that it is under control. So sometimes you have to lower down in everything in balance. The equilibrium of the effort, sati, is the key to success in the sarasayana, or 16 stages of the vipassana, or we call vipassana yana. And then the next one, the equanimity, you see, or what we call it ubekha. Even the ubekha or equanimity itself, it caused the trouble. You probably fall in sleeping instead of doing some vipassana. You become fall asleep because over equanimity. The meaning of the ubekha or a Buddhist equanimity means you still having the optimal amount of the mindfulness, optimal amount of the effort, optimal amount of the wisdom or panya. And that's how your mindfulness become never miss from an object. Either that object can be the worldly object or the unworldly object or unconditioned object, which is the nibbana, can be an object, and it has a really attractive power for the practitioner that come over the fourth stage of the Uttaya and the last one we call it Nikkanti. Nikkanti, which is the clinging, that you are really having a strong sense of attachment. This one is really most powerful impurity agent that can attach your mind and really strong, that can delay, that can impurify the whole process of the vipassana. So once you realize, you have to try to detach it. How to detach this attachment or nikkanti? you have to contemplate about the three natures of all existence, which is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Once your mind really comprehensively understand this nature of all existence, it's just like a law of nature that has a really superpower to detach your mind from attachment to the object, whatever object will be. Once you apply this law of nature, the Trilakkhana, the three natures of all existence, your mind will slowly detach. Or if you're really professional, you are a skillful practitioner, your mind will really quickly release from the object. So these are the impurities that can arise during the process. Especially one must be careful when you are come up to the fourth stage of the meditation of the Vipassana, which is called Uttaya Let me name all the impurities. The first one, visualization, is called opat. The second one, the joy, is called the sense of the piti. The third one, the sense of the sukha or the happiness. And then the next one is the panya itself, the wisdom. It also can be a pure impurity. The fifth one is a tranquility, which is called in Pali pasati. And then the sixth one is sattha, the overconfidence, over integrity. The sattha also can be an impurity. The seventh one, the next one is the viriya ความเพียร ในภาษาไทย The viriya หรือว่าความเพียร can be the vipassanupakiles or the impurity, the vipassana impurities, impurifier. And then the eighth one, the next one is the mindfulness, sati. ลองพิจารณาดูครับสติก็สติตัวสติเองซึ่งเราคิดว่ามีความสำคัญบางครั้งกลับกลายเป็นวิปัสสนูปกิเลสได้สำหรับวิปัสสนาเพราะฉะนั้นต้องระวังแล้วก็ต้องสมาธิและสตินี่ต้องดีมากสามารถจับได้เลยครับว่าตอนนี้เนี่ยthe สตินะครับ the mindfulness is getting over too much. It has to be not too much, not too less. The next one is ubekha, the equanimity itself. If you have too much ubekha, then you might fall asleep. Your mind become weak, not really strong, The mindfulness or your mind has to be really sensitive to know enough what is what happened in the present moment. And the last one, nikkanti, attachment. This is very, very important, maybe the most important component of the vipassanupakiles that one has to release, has to detach for whatever happened or arising during the vipassana, which is called the vipassanupakiles or the 10 impurities of the vipassana. I used to be asked a lot of questions regarding the vipassana when I teach the sarasayana หรือโสรถญาณคำถามเหล่านี้เคยเกิดขึ้นกับผมบ่อยมากเลยครับโดยเฉพาะในคลาสที่ผมสอน Used to be asked that all these 10 items look very good, so good, how they cause vipassana impure. This is very common question to me when I during the class. So what I answer, I answer they do, because the mind has the pressure on them. Our mind have a really strong sense of pressure. It is the nature of the human mind that if something good, you will like it. You will be happy with it. For example, the opass, the brightness. Probably you misunderstood that you are enlightened. You are in the range of the nibbana or whatever you imagine. We can say that you probably have the strong sense of imagination than understanding. That's how that can mislead you. That misleading will blend your mind, understanding you are in the nibbana range or you got enlightened. And then you become like it because that's what you're looking for. And that's how you detach to it. So the vipassanupakilet can collapse, can destroy the process, especially nikkanti, the attachment with the vipassanupakilet. That means you instead of you get out, you get rid of kilesa or defilement by doing the vipassana. You become a slave of the vipassanupakilet again and again. So one must really be careful and watch out your vipassanupakilet or the vipassana impurities. That is a really warning for the vipassana practitioners. However, once the practitioner add more and more effort and mindfulness to be on just the body and mind and check the balance, and in the absence of those, when you propel, when you are able to propel all the impurities of vipassanupakilet, then in the absence of these impurities, you will able to directly experience the body and mind purely. You will have a really strong understanding, or probably you seeing something rising and falling all the time. Even your mind or your body or even your breath or the four element that combine together to build up, to combine together to be the physical body. You will realize the sense of falling and rising in the present moment because of you are free from the impurities. ทันทีที่จิตมีอิสระจากวิปัสสนูปกิเลสก็จะทำให้สามารถก็จะผู้ปฏิบัติก็จะสามารถเห็นความจริงแต่ความจริงนั้นก็คือสภาวะของการเกิดดับของธรรมะไม่ว่าจะเป็นกายหรือว่าตัวจิตเองก็จะสามารถสังเกตเห็นได้เพราะว่าจิตนิ่งจิตปราศจากวิปัสสนูปกิเลส The mind without the vipassanupakilet or the impurities can see the truth, and this is the ultimate truth, or we call it paramatthaธรรมว่าในการเกิดดับของสรรพสิ่ง ที่เราเรียกว่าอุทยพยญาณสำหรับผมนับเป็นบุญนับเป็นบารมีที่ได้มีโอกาสเห็นสภาวะนั้นแล้วก็ whoever can see this kind of moment of rising and falling, rising and passing away of all the Dhamma, for example, the body and mind. That is the paramita. That is the bunya. ถือว่ามีบุญถือว่าคุ้มพระพุทธเจ้าตรัสว่าแม้มีชีวิตอยู่100 ปีถ้าไม่มีโอกาสเห็นการเกิดดับถ้าไม่มีโอกาสเห็นความจริงคือการเกิดดับของธรรมะของสังขารก็เปรียบไม่ได้กับการที่มีชีวิตอยู่เพียงวันเดียวแล้วสามารถเห็นความจริงนี้นี่คืออุทยพยญาณ The next one is called พังคยานะในซาวเป็นภาษาไทยเราเรียกว่าพังคยานซึ่งเป็นยานที่5 the fifth ยานะ or the fifth stage. So what happened during this insight? The practitioner will actually experience and realize that the body and mind are continuously falling only. I emphasize, underline, falling only. Without imagination. As a natural process in the present moment and right in the front of the practitioner. So far, one has gained the true knowledge and has a great volume of the mindfulness. It is said that the practitioners has a greatest 3 quality to achieve the Vipassana. That means an effort, the mindfulness, and the wisdom. The good simile is just like a man, I usually, when I teach the Solayana, I always give this simile or the metaphor that there is one man standing in the alley and watching all the cars just passing in one direction all the time at the end of the alley. Never think of that car that already passed. It is a characteristic of the insight. This is really become a characteristic of this insight. This insight shows that the body and the mind are actually passing away in every single moment. And this phenomenon is really natural process of life for everybody. In this world, during this stage, one will understand more about what truly life is. Many practitioners could learn how to let go and release sense of attachment at this point. So let me explain a little deeper what happened in this yana or pankayana. You will realize that your sankhara, body and mind, is going in one direction, and that is the direction of death. What it means? It means that actually our life is passing away in each single moment. We are dying every single moment already. And that's how we getting older and older. We become age and age. ผมกำลังพูดว่าเราจริงๆแล้วชีวิตเรา ดับทุกวันเรากำลังตายทุกๆโมเมนต์ซึ่งพังคยานก็ได้เปิดเผยความจริงว่าเราจริงๆแล้วชีวิตของเราเนี่ยดับลงทุกวันมีทิศทางของการดับเดินไปสู่ทิศทางของการดับเดินไปสู่ทิศทางเดียวกันหมดเลย everybody is walking on the same path on the same path of death same direction สังเกตดูไหมครับ if you notice you are getting older and older that means we are walking through the process of death of life in each single minute single moment we are dying when you realize this truth that's how you can let go the more that you owning the more thing that you try to own the more thing that you try to looking for the more money that you're trying to make you're going to leave it behind because you already dying every single moment and imagine when you realize this when you see the truth during the Vipassana you can apply this saying into your life you become a new person instead of taking you like to giving away you like to sharing something with somebody you like to helping someone because we are all walking to the same direction that is dying you don't need to hurt someone instead of hurting someone you will become a person who helping someone and you can apply let go more and more when you know that you are dying there's no need to collect a lot of money no need to collect a lot of properties you will have a really strong sense of contentment you become a person who know what is enough because you realize that you are actually dying and this is how I practice my letting go to the process of the meditation once I arrive this stage the pankayan it always remind me that I am dying and that's how I am happy about it that I don't have to owe many things instead of owning I would like to giving away because of the Vipassana open up disclose the disclosure of the truth the ultimate truth that we are dying all the time this is the benefit of the pankayana then the next one is called the payayana the stage 6 number 6 when the practitioners continue to investigate the body and mind, the nature of the body and mind investigation, one will realize that the body and the mind are actually in danger. One has been holding it really tightly for a long time, used to protect as much as possible. We could, as much as we could, but finally, indeed, they are so dangerous. Because the body and mind are passing away in front of us we have to we have to experiencing losing not gaining actually life at all time. They are something that not supposed to hold on animal. One used to think that they are attractive, especially with the woman. They thought they are so attractive. Actually, not at all. I used to give a simile like one is racing, try to racing a snake, and that snake can bite oneself away at any time. So imagine when you get the snake bitten is really dangerous. Even when you see the snake, you become really scared, and that's how your life is. We are really in danger in all time, and that's how we have to practice the mindfulness meditation, to be mindful for everything, to be mindful for what you're doing, to be mindful for what you're speaking, to be mindful for what you are thinking. And that's how your life can be saved with the sati, with the mindfulness. Even though we are all in danger, it's really, you cannot trust your own life. You don't know what's going to happen when you open up the door of your bedroom. What you will see when you open up the door of your house, driving the car to the office to work. On the way, you don't know what happened. You don't trust the traffic. It might be an accident that ruined your life. You may not be able to come back to see your family tonight, or maybe you're not able to see your boss tomorrow. Everything seems to be unexpected. Nobody can guarantee that you can live up to tomorrow, up to next month, next week, next year. Nobody knows. Nobody can give you a guarantee that you will be with your loved one until tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Why? Because it is sankhara. It is a condition thing. Your life is a condition. It's under condition. And it's once it's a condition or the sankhara, all the conditioned things are temporary. And it's all changing. And that changing is falling. So we are actually in the danger at all time. That's how we practice the mindfulness meditation in order to mobilize our life carefully, mindfully. This body and mind is called sankhara, is always falling. You cannot really 100% rely on your life. after birth is dead. After rising is always falling. This is the truth. This is the truth of life. One has to accept this, realize it, and accept this with your understanding, with your wisdom or panya. And this is what we call the payayana. และนี่คือสิ่งที่เราเรียกว่าพยญาณในโสรถญาณชีวิตเราตกอยู่ในอันตรายอยู่ตลอดเวลาลองพิจารณาดูครับเราไม่รู้ว่าอะไรจะเกิดขึ้นจากการที่เราเปิดประตูห้องนอนออกไปเปิดประตูบ้านเปิดประตูรถขับรถไปทำงานเราไม่รู้ว่าเราจะถึงที่ทำงานไหมเราจะได้เจอลูกน้องเราไหมเราจะได้เจอเจ้านายเราไหมระหว่างทางอาจจะเกิดอุบัติเหตุทำให้เราพิการแทนที่จะได้ไปที่ทำงานเรามีโอกาสที่จะไปโรงพยาบาลหรือแม้กระทั่งไปหลุมฝังศพได้ตลอดเวลานี่คือความไม่ปลอดภัยความไม่แน่นอนของสังขารเพราะว่าสังขารไงครับคำว่าสังขารคือสิ่งที่มันโดนปรุงแต่งขึ้นมาเพราะฉะนั้นมันเป็นของชั่วคราวอยู่ตลอดเวลามันเปลี่ยนแปลไปตลอดเวลา The sankhara, the condition is always changing. นี่คือความไม่ปลอดภัย This is the danger of our life. นี่คือความไม่ปลอดภัยความเป็นอันตรายอยู่ตลอดเวลาของสังขารของชีวิตนี่น่าจะเป็นเหตุผลที่มีน้ำหนักเพียงพอที่ทำไมเราจึงต้องฝึกสติปัฏฐานสี่ทำไมเราจะต้องเจริญสติทำไมเราจะต้องทำสติภาวนาคือต้องมีสติอยู่ตลอดเวลากับทุกๆการเคลื่อนไหวทุกๆโมเมนต์ This is a really very significancy that how we have to practice the mindfulness meditation or the สติพัฒนาสติเพื่อการนี้โดยเฉพาะเลยครับนี่นับว่าเป็นสิ่งที่ธรรมชาติมอบให้กับมนุษย์ที่สามารถฝึกสติปัฏฐานได้ซึ่งในสัตว์เดรัจฉานไม่สามารถทำได้Then the next one and should be the last stage for today and then we can continue the next Saturday. It's called Atinavayana. This is the seventh stage or the stage 7 of the Sovatyana. Under the same investigation, the practitioner will realize more about this body and mind that are actually not only in danger but is poisonous, not really safe. Our life is never be safe actually, and it's always harmful to life at any time. And we always keep wonder how we have been living with this for such a long period of time without a knowledge of how much they are hurting the owner. What it means, we are actually hurting ourselves. Try to mobilize ourselves to where we originated. This is how have a big sense of the emptiness of the world. Or the world itself is emptiness. altogether of the sixth and seventh stage of the Solodhyana are really closely related, and it benefit or it generates the strong sense of realization and the feeling of how dangerous our body and mind is. The simile like one is raising a baby tiger with the thought that it is a kitty or a cat. You raising a tiger, but you're not knowing. You thought that you are raising a kitty until one day your good neighbor see and know exactly what it is and tell you that it's a tiger, because you don't know. You never raised the tiger before. You never know what is different between tiger and a kitty or a cat. The owner told you that you actually raising a tiger. See how dangerous you are. So from the fifth stage, sixth stage, and the seventh stage are combined together to generate the sense of understanding how your life is. And you can realize that your life or we are in danger. This 5, 6, 7 stage will open up your mind, will disclose the truth that our life is truly in danger. You must not let the time goes by without doing something against this kind of truth. And that is the practice of the mindfulness meditation. Maybe the breathing meditation or Anapanasati, which is really parallel to, it's really a parallel with the Satipatthana. And I think today we have to stop the discussion with this yana, and next time we will continue the next stage, which is called Nibbitayana, which is really, really important stage of the Solodhyana. And with this yana, it can mobilize, it can energize the one who practice to enlightenment, to be free from the attachment, to be free from the condition of the world. We will come back to see you again next Saturday. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you for everyone who watching this program. I hopefully that this program will give you some knowledge, will give you some understanding about the Buddhism, especially the Buddhist practice that can change your mind, can change your life through the process of the Vipassana or the insight meditation. อาจารย์ ชวัชชัย ครับ